welcome to episode 3 of the Great Guitar Build-Off. Today I'll be sort of marking up and doing the neck. So, not a lot of talking today, so I think I'll speed this up because it's quite a boring watch and it's just something to do. Alright, so this is my first voiceover. Hopefully it'll work out. So what I'm doing now, I'm using a neck template that I have, that I use for all of my guitars, or most of them, and just marking out the rough shape of the neck. I'm also trying to get the strings tuner alignment up and running. I like to keep my tuners completely straight, or the string from the nut to the tuner completely straight, so you don't have that the crooked string between the nut and the tuner, and that is sometimes harder than you would think. As you can see, I used a Fender template, a Strat template, to make sure that my head stock was the right size, because I thought it looked a bit small. I'm also checking to see that my logo fits. And then it's just basically measuring out the tuner spacing. And yeah, and I'm using the bandsaw to cut off the excess wood. I'm not good with the bandsaw, as you can probably see. It's unnecessary evil for me. I'd rather not use it, but it's such a time saver that I can't afford not to use it. I'm doing mostly straight cuts. I'm not too happy with doing rounded stuff. So I'm basically always doing just relief cuts and then cutting the reliefs off. Here again, I'm checking to see that the truss rod will fit. And at this stage, I'm routing down the thickness of the headstock. This is the first time I'm building basically a straight neck. I usually do a slanted headstock, 10 degrees slanted, but for this one I'm doing a sort of Fender style. Here I'm using my Triton spindle sander. It's a spindle belt sander. This is the best tool I have in my shop. I don't think I would be able to make guitars without it, without pulling my hair off what little I have. It's just such a time saver. As you can see here, I didn't adjust the sanding paper till the very end, but it's so great for shaping. Alright, so this chunk of wood arrived today. I got it cheap because the seller didn't know what wood it was. Looks sort of mahogany, but it has this lighter strip going up here, and yeah, it's not easy to tell. But anyway, I've marked out the center line. As you can see, it's not in the middle of this block because I want to omit this lighter piece as much as possible. I've also marked out the general shape, and I'm just gonna use this as a reference now. So I'm thinking maybe this is where I'll cut it. Maybe, and then see if I can find a good, nice round gradient. And I'll just mark this up rough, and then I'll sort of make the lines prettier as we go along. So maybe something like that. And then but it looks like the drawing, it goes, I mean on the iPad it goes a bit higher than this, and the angle might not be as big as this. Let's see, this one is smaller, so let's try this one. I'm thinking maybe this is better, and it's not the most elegant way to draw something, but I don't have any round design templates, so maybe this will be better. See, something like this maybe. Yeah, that looks more like the iPad design. Obviously need to round this off in a nice way, and then this to go more like that. I don't have anything that's sort of pliable enough for me to do this with well, but I'm obviously going to sand this. That's not a nice line. So I think maybe I'll try to make the entire line concave. And then this will be a bit sharper out here. But anyway, it's just a rough design now. It's easier once I'm cutting it. I'll be cutting it way out, way out, and then obviously I'll be sanding it and routing it. Well, sanding it. And then 24th fret would be approximately there. It's a nice color combo, and I think I'm going to go with this maple fretboard. So then, if that's the case, I'm just marking this out rough. No, that was wrong. So this is 24, leave a bit of space, and then that would be this would be my first pickup around there. But as I said, I plan to route that from the bottom. I think that could be interesting, but let's just see for size now how it looks. And I've pretty much decided that the neck pickup will be a humbucker sized P90. No real reason for it to be humbucker sized, just if we're going to switch it out in the future, it's easier to have one form factor to deal with instead of several. So I'm just going to approximate where this next one will go. And this template is made, I bought it online. I can't remember who I bought it from, but it's made in such a way that if you mark the outside if you have the template and you mark the outside and you put it next to that again, then that's the correct spacing between humbuckers. Now there is some debates going on online about the direct correlation between sound and sustain and placement of humbuckers. I couldn't care less, to be honest. The 24th, and if I put that there, I'm going to get a measure stick, and then I'll mark out where the bridge is supposed to be, and then we'll see if everything checks out. So I got my good old measuring stick, and it should be, see, 31.8, which means 31.8 from this should be the bridge placement, and let's just see, 31.8, I'm just going to write this down. And then I'm at 15.95. Right. So I haven't marked the center line on the fretboard either, as you can see, because I still need to radius it. So that would make it a pointless exercise. Let's see. So instead of 15.95, I'm just going to go with 16. So that'll replace it. Here. So the system works. And I'm going to use a 7-string bridge as an example now, because that's what I have at hand for the 7-string I'm already building. But the dimensions are pretty much the same. So when you're measuring, you're not measuring to this edge, you're measuring to the nape of your bridge rollers. These are rollers, but you get my point. And that is working just fine. As you can see, I have about 0.7, 0.8 of a centimeter between the bridge and the pickup, so that'll work out just fine. Alright, so the next part for this would obviously be to cut the body out, sand it, get it to final shape. I'm not going to do any sanding on the top itself because there's a lot of routing to be done. Also, I'm going to have to take it down in thickness because it is quite chunky. At least it feels chunky. I haven't measured it, I just opened the package. So let's just see how chunky it is. I want it to be about 44, and that's inches, of course. It's now 51. So I need to take it down about 52. So this will be going through my thicknesser to make the surfaces smooth. And a tip, if you're doing like I do, I like to start designing straight away. Mark your center line on both sides. That way you can still sand and plane and level the body without the center line going away, especially if you're basing your design on something like this. Yeah, so that'll be it for this portion. So what I got done today was to make the neck. That was already planed, but designed the neck, headstock rather, and cut it down to shape. Also the head is a bit thin, but there's going veneers on here. I'm going to put veneers on both sides. I'm thinking maybe this walnut veneer, that looks good with maple. Also I have this lighter veneer. I have so many woods I can't really remember all the names, sorry about that. Also have this ebony veneer, that's pretty nice. And what I like to do, as I mentioned probably 10 times at least till now, I like to use carbon fiber. So I'm thinking maybe the front is carbon fiber, or the back. I'm thinking about doing one of these joints, heels. Is it a heel? When it's still up there? Maybe, but putting carbon fiber on the back and the front. I have this huge sheet of carbon fiber. It's pretty pliable. It adds stiffness. It's very strong for its weight. I bought this so that it wouldn't be so strong, because I had used carbon fiber earlier. That was about 1 millimeter thick, and it was very, very strong. So I bought that one. Is about 0.2 of a millimeter, but it's still very strong, still more pliable. I'm also considering buying a different truss rod. Mainly because this tip doesn't fit my truss rod tools. I can't remember where I bought these, probably on eBay. It is a functioning truss rod, so it's not do or die for me. It is also thinner than the ones I use. But since my neck is non-laminated, just straight up maple neck, I'm thinking maybe go with carbon fiber rods. I do that with most of my necks, and I have done it for the last 3 necks at least, and it's worked out very fine. The truss rod actually haven't been used on either of them, so that's a bit worrisome, I know. But they're dead straight, so maybe it's overkill for me to go that route. I haven't really decided yet. Do I need carbon fiber rods or no? I'm leaning towards no, because they do cost quite a bit of money, but then again, I'm sure the neck is stable, so I'll have to think about that. The truss rod either way is going in, and I may just use this truss rod anyway, since I have it. We all know building guitars are expensive, and if I already have a part, then why not just use it? So that'll be that. Next part will be me finishing the routing. I think I'll do me filming, me thickness sanding this is just a waste of everybody's time. But I think maybe the routing from the back side and also some contouring. I like to, if I can show you. It's not the best example because the body's not done, but I like to contour quite a bit in parts where I don't feel like you need it, like the top. Take away, maybe thin it down or do a heavy slant. I really like that. I'm going to slant this, the GGBO body. I'm going to route it 45 degrees from this angle and down here, and I'm thinking maybe I'll do that from up there and until where the horn is cut off. And on the back side I'm thinking maybe go with a heavy slant all the way around, because I think it looks nice. It looks very heavy metal, to me anyway, and it removes some wood, because the wood I received today is heavy. This is 5 kilos, just the body, and that's too much. Obviously some of it will be cut away, but the most of it will remain. So, but I don't mind heavy bodies. But we'll see. At least the wood is dry. I know that. It's been dried for years. That's why the seller doesn't know what wood it is, because it's been laying in the back of his shop for ages. Anyway, thank you for watching. I don't know if this will be... I'll continue on the same video or make a new video. We'll see. Thank you for watching.